Hey everyone, this is Carl Zoellner with Coffee with Carl. Once again, just to introduce myself, I am one of the attorneys with Anderson Business Advisors. And today I wanted to address an interesting question I got from a client on how do I hold my corporate shares, basically for his corporation within his own entity structure. There are a couple of different options when that involved here. Number one is you can use your Wyoming, if you have a Wyoming holding company, you could use that to hold the shares of your corporation, or you could hold those shares directly in your living trust. The downside is if you're in a, I guess we'll go through the pluses and minuses of each. So with the corporation, depending on what state you're in, de- depends on the level of protection of those corporate shares. So if I want to hold them in my living trust, that has the same protections if I want to hold them as an individual. So we would need to look at what state you're in and if it makes sense to hold those shares within, as a person in your trust or through your Wyoming holding company. Now, within your Wyoming holding company, there's certainly charging order protection, and there's also the ability for people they don't even see those shares at all. I mean, they're not public. Most people, their corporations will never be publicly traded, but this one is even better in the sense that Wyoming doesn't provide ownership of the entity that would actually hold those shares. Uh, and everything would still be taken care of on the back end through your estate plan and making sure that you're able to pass them on to whoever you wanted to once you and your spouse have passed. So ultimately, the deal is number one is if you're going to hold those shares individually or in your living trust, we should take a look, or you should speak with somebody to take a look and see if you got sued. Does the state that you reside in protect those shares for you? And if they don't, then we probably need to look at having the Wyoming LLC hold those shares for you. On a side note, if any of our clients or any of our platinum clients who are watching this have gotten a request for you to send your shares to our Wyoming office, that's why. Is because we've determined that you'd be better off having those corporate shares held in Wyoming than you would be holding them in your individual name or in your living trust directly. We use our Wyoming holding company. We don't like to circumvent it, but putting them in your living trust would sort of circumvent the purpose of the holding company if the state you reside in does not protect those shares. So, like I said, really it's more of a question upon setup if which one makes sense. I would say predominantly these days we're just putting them in the Wyoming holding company, ultimately because it's the sort of best standard of protection and anonymity and cost effectiveness across the country. And I'll put another video out actually on that here coming up soon. So until next time, as always, thank you for watching the video. Thanks for taking advantage of all of our free content. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. And we will continue to make the content for you. So thanks everyone for joining me for this episode, and we will catch you on the next one.